Hey everyone, how are y'all doing today? Welcome to Review Sesh. If you've been here before, I really appreciate you coming back to visit me. And if you haven't been here before, give me just one moment. Let me tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do. My name's Mike. What I do is I review federally legal hemp products and devices. It doesn't matter whether it's a consumable product of any kind or whether it's a functional device of any type. We're going to be checking out all of that stuff here on this channel. I really do hope you enjoy the content that I'm making for you. So guys, I'm really excited about what I have coming for you today. This is one of my favorite strains. This is Blockberry. But guys, there's something very special and very interesting about this Blockberry, and we're going to be getting into that. But real quick, I want to go ahead and pass it back to the previous me, the guy that didn't have such a cool green screen and all that stuff. And he's going to go ahead and reiterate a little bit about what we do on this channel. And he might even be able to educate you a little bit about what THCA is. And right after that's over, we're going to be hopping right into the review. Alright guys, so as you know, what I do here on my channel is I review federally legal hemp products and devices. And a lot of these products have THCA in the name. And if you guys still aren't familiar with what THCA is, you're unsure about it, give me just a moment and I'm going to explain a little bit of that to you. THCA stands for tetrahydrocannabinolic acid, and it is the naturally occurring compound found on all hemp plants all over the world. It grows naturally on all hemp plants. And in and of itself, guys, it's not psychoactive. You wouldn't get any elevated effects if you go out and you eat a hemp plant or something like that. It doesn't work like that. It first has to undergo a process called decarboxylation. And decarboxylation, guys, I know it sounds like a fancy chemistry word, and that's because it is. But really, all it means, all it stands for, is the application of heat. So it doesn't really matter whether it's environmental heat, like the heat of the sun, it's just a hot day outside, or, we apply some artificial heat, like we are known to do, like a little bit of flame, maybe an electronic heat source, like what I like to use, that decarboxylates that THCA molecule, and it effectively just drops that A right off the end of that molecule chain, and it leaves you with good old-fashioned THC. So, guys, THCA minus A equals THC. And for all intents and purposes, since we're still putting this under the same processes everybody else has always put it under, you know, really, realistically speaking, guys, THCA is the THC that your fathers, your grandfathers, and everybody that's ever come before have always been speaking about. They've always been speaking about the naturally occurring compound on the plant. And it's just recently that we've had some confusing terminology and it's muddied things up a little bit, but I hope this has clarified things for you. And it's really important to go over this because since 2018 in the federal farm bill, we have these things available to us without any worries whatsoever. Totally legal. We can get this stuff through the mail. We don't have to worry about going out and meeting people at odd times of night and putting ourselves at inconvenience at the very least and risk at the most. You know what I mean? So when you guys get your stuff in the mail, you're going to be getting one of these. This is a very generic copy. I use this specific copy every time that I explain this. And, it's a notice to law enforcement and the Postal Service. And it just declares what is in the package. And it states that, what is in this package is federally compliant, 2018 Farm Bill compliant hemp. All right, guys? Very important to hold on to these. For the foreseeable future, there's no point in getting rid of these. They stack flat. You don't have to worry about, them taking up a lot of space. So just hold on to these things, guys. So with that out of the way, guys, let's get into the review. All right, guys, now that we got that out of the way, today's Good Mood is sponsored by California Gold Farm. And a good mood indeed it is because this is one of my favorite strains ever, Blockberry. One of the great things that I love about Blockberry is that, it's beautiful, beautiful hues of purples and pinks and all that sort of stuff, except not this time. But it smells just like Blockberry. Oh my goodness, that is so strong of Blockberry. But it's not purple and pink. Very, very nice. Frosty. Bright greens. Look at that. Look at that flower. Look at that. And you might be asking yourself, you're like, Mike, why is this Blockberry not purple and pink? Isn't Blockberry supposed to be uh, black cherry punch and Tropicana cookies? Yeah, yeah, it is. Except this Blockberry, guys, this is a cross of different strains. And I can tell you on the smell, I can almost bet it's going to be identical in flavor profile. It is identical on the nose, and the strains that this is a cross of is Blackberry Kush and Cherry Wine. Very, very interesting, guys. We're going to be checking that out here in a few, but I just really want to get this under the microscope. So I'm going to take a cut here, and I'm going to get some shots of this, and then we're going to come back, and then I'm going to try it out, and then we're going to talk about the strain. Um, I'm really excited about this one, guys. I love me some Blockberry, and I can't wait to get into this. So hang tight, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. I may have been wrong. They say never judge a book by its cover. Um, Maybe we should never judge a nug by the color on the outside. Because let me tell you, when I got into this, started taking some photographs of this, guys, lots of purples, lots of pinks. Now, there's a pretty good amount of some bright, bright greens and some of them orange hairs and all of that sort of stuff. But there's a surprising amount of bright purples and pinks in here, guys, and very, very dense trichome formation, both glandular and non-glandular, all mixing and really, really, really thick in trichomes. Lots of really good transitioning too. You can see transitioning between from clear to cloudy, starting to amber up in some places. Really good look to it. The smell, of course, is phenomenal. It is what you would expect with the Blockberry. It smells exactly like Blockberry. Um, Very, very strong. Very, very strong. Alrighty. And it is holding on to most of its keef, guys, so I don't think we're going to be getting a keef shot. Um, I don't believe we are. Give me just one moment. We might. Let's see what it brushes out into. Yeah, I might be able to get you a keef shot in there, guys. So be on the lookout for that. Get some of that keef off the side walls of this grinder real quick. So I don't forget to do that. I am just going to set that aside. Next to my microscope. Alright guys, so we're going to be packing this up, starting with the microdose bowl. Microdose up. And then we're going to be packing our other bowls too. We're going to be trying one of each bowl. Clear out these others. Still have some remnants that I haven't cleared yet. Very pretty flower, very good smell. Absolutely frosty. Fairly sticky when I was getting into it as well. Not really losing, for as frosty as it is, it's not losing a lot of its trichomes, so it's fairly sticky. All right, guess I gotta pack that. So guys, you know that I've done a lot of different Blockberry. This will be my third or fourth, maybe? No, this will be my fourth or fifth, I think, Blockberry review on this channel. I really do love me some Blockberry. It's one of my favorite strains, and it's because it's so dang punchy. It's so sweet. It's so very forward. And we're going to be running the first one with the injector side of the One Hit Wonder. Yeah, definitely Blockberry. Definitely Blockberry in flavor. Very, very good. It's your typical very forward, very sweet. On the exhale, it's a little bit of a coolish sensation, kind of a not quite gassy, but it's cool on the exhale. Really nice, and like a good Blockberry, it's sticking to the palate pretty well. It really is. So we're gonna hit this, but before we do, we're gonna check out the actual lineage of this. So it's Blackberry Kush crossed with cherry wine. All right. Very interesting how those two basically they emulate black cherry punch crossed with Tropicana cookies very well. If you were to see these two out in the wild, smell these two out in the wild, rather, you would not be able to tell the difference. If it were a blind smell, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. I certainly can't. Not without looking at it. So, our blackberry is across a blackberry Kush, crossed with cherry wine. So we're gonna look at blackberry Kush. That's a straight indica. Typically 20-ish% THC content. Being a Kush, it is very indica leaning. Effects are euphoria, happy, hungry, mellow, sleepy. May relieve practically everything revolving around anxiety and stress, loss of appetite, PTSD, migraines, depression, bipolar disorder, insomnia, etc., etc. Cherry wine is a hybrid. It's a 50-50. This one is interesting. This one is interesting. So, because it's got two crosses that I've never heard of. And it's a CBD strain, guys. Cherry wine is a CBD strain. All right. Typically, according to All Bud anyway, THC content's 1%, CBD is 20%, typically. Now, I don't think that's the case in here. This is fairly potent flower, and we're about to check the actual labs on this flower in just a moment. But what we're seeing here is across of this is the wife and Charlotte's cherries. And there's a reason why we haven't heard of these before, guys, because these are CBD strains. That's what they are. But the flavors on them, that's where the fruit flavors come out from. That's where it's coming from. That's where this side of this punchy, really strong fruit flavors are coming from. I've said it before and I'll say it again. CBD's been cultivated a lot longer here in the States than anything else, and it's been cultivated more professionally. People have had more time to develop terpene density and and things of that nature in these strains. And when those strains are taken and then they're bred backwards to increase THC content, that's what we have coming out in this. Very interesting. Very interesting genetics. One of the nicer genetics that I've had recently, and because they have bred in the flavors from those CBD leaning strains, and they bred in the flavors, but they also kept the THC content up. So the THCa content for this strain, this Blockberry, which is a cross of Blackberry Kush, crossed with cherry wine, is 32.48% THCA. Very, very potent. After decarb, you're looking probably still around 29-30% THCA. THC content, yeah. D9. Very potent, very flavorful. And due to what it is, being, having some amounts of the CBD density that it has, you're looking at the effects and help with pain and with certain things like inflammation, maybe fibromyalgia, arthritis, pain help, that sort of thing. Muscle spasms, nausea, help with that. I'm not going to go too far and claim that it helps with everything because, like I said before, there is no such thing as a panacea. But my goodness, this plant gets pretty close. It gets pretty close. Um, so yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and we're gonna keep smoking it or vaping it rather. Excuse me. Uh, yeah. Mm, mm. Okay, there's a bit of that earth. There's a bit of earth in there, a little bit of undertone. Really nice. Mm, it's so smooth. It's so tasty. It's Blockberry, guys, but it's not black cherry punch and chocolate cookies. It's crazy. I'll be honest, guys. California Gold Farm never ceases to amaze me. Um, I have not had anything yet that hasn't been very flavorful. At least for me, as I vape. I don't combust. I don't get a lot of ash, tar, other things like that that get in the way of the flavor. But this packs a punch of flavor, like just. And I'll be honest, guys. Looking at it, I was looking at it. I said, "Where's the purples? Where's the pinks?" They're inside. It's what's inside that counts, right? That's what you have here with this Blockberry from California Gold Farm. On the outside, it's beautiful, gorgeous, beautiful. Just that's the bee's knees right there. But wasn't what I expected. Now when I cracked into it and I started taking the microscope shots, I'm like, that's what I remember. That's what I remember. Once you get inside of it, and then once I got some of it in me, Blackberry. It's very potent Blackberry. It's creeping on me really good, really fast. Mm, that one's done. Very good. Mm, wow. Just when I thought I couldn't like the strain more, now I realize that I like the strain, but it's actually two different strains. But may as well not be. It's the craziest thing. It's like the nuance between Blockberry and Superboof. Except now there's nuance between Blockberry and Blockberry. But the only nuance is the visual. Everything else is dead on. Flavor's right on. Friggin' The smell is right on. Everything is what I know of Blockberry, but those lime green nugs, the it's got me thrown for a little bit of a loop, to be quite honest. Not quite existential crisis sort of a scenario. I'm not really, questioning my reality or anything at this moment over this, but it's still super super interesting, guys. Super interesting. Mm. Oh, goodness gracious, that's so tasty. And I mean, the blackberry Kush has to have something coming through in it. It's got to be adding to the sweetness, or maybe that little bit of the exhale that I mentioned. It's like kind of a cool exhale. It might be a little bit of diesel gas coming from the Kush. So I have to be honest, it does have kind of a cooling kind of sensation. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, I like it. You know. Mm. This is making me wonder, guys. Do y'all know of any other strains out there that have strains like Blockberry? We have two different Blockberries. Are there other strains out there that you guys know of that share a name and have characteristics? Excuse me, pretty elevated right now. It's fairly strong stuff. Are there any other strains out there that share names but also share characteristics when you wouldn't expect? This one was one that I definitely was not expecting. Visually, I wasn't expecting what I got on the palette. Um, but I'm very impressed. And I'm also really interested to know if there's any strains like this that you guys know of. So if there are, please uh, let me know in the comments. I'd be super interested in acquiring other strains that share names and similar characteristics but come from different genetics. That would be very, very interesting to me. Trying to tasting those side by side and analyzing, investigating those genetics would be really, really cool. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little review of Blackberry from California Gold Farm. This is the Blackberry Kush crossed with cherry wine. Crossed with cherry wine. Took me a minute there. Um, I hope you've enjoyed this little review. I hope you're doing well this week. I do have a lot more coming. So much more coming. In fact, that I can't even wrap my mind around it. Um, so much to do, so little time, but I'm enjoying myself immensely, and I'm very grateful to have you guys here with me. If there's anything that you'd like to see in the future, just let me know. If there's anything that you're sick of seeing, just let me know. I'll do my best over the course of this year to make this channel the very best it can be. I'm not putting any limits on the channel. I'm not giving myself any numbers that I'm trying to meet. I'm just keeping on, and I'm going full force. And with you guys here supporting me, I intend to just make it a lot of fun for everybody. So until I see you guys next time, I want you to take care of yourselves, take care of your families and your loved ones. Don't worry too much if you're not out there making $1 million every day or every year or whatever, or in a lifetime. That's not what matters. All right. What matters is just being able to do enough to support you and your family if you have other people to support. Don't give too much. Don't try to give the world. Don't try to buy the world. We don't need a lot to be content. And like I said in my last video, or maybe it was video before last, Contentment is a springboard to happiness. All right, so let's shoot for contentment first, and not give too much of ourselves. Because when we give too much of ourselves and we stretch ourselves too thin, it makes it that much harder to be content. It's hard to be content when you're building resentment. So do your best to be mindful and don't give too much of yourselves while you're supporting your loved ones. Um, until I see you next time, as usual, I want you guys to stay lifted and I want you to stay blessed. And I'll talk to you very, very soon. Peace.